What's up, YouTubers? How's it going today? Hope you're all doing good. I myself am doing pretty damn good. Got a tea here, orange peak oak, with some vanilla cream, but not enough just enough to thicken up the water. So, today we're going to talk and listen a little bit. Um, I've never been able to get into the gaming or PC world until I said no more women ever again. And since I started gaming a year ago, and basically a half a year ago with the PC, I jumped into Destiny 2 and Marathon. With Destiny 2, I bought all the DLCs and I spent like 250 bucks just to start off with Destiny 2. And then I ended up spending a bunch more money on a bunch of other games so I can start my streaming when I start. But Bungie creates this game Marathon, and actually should kind of shrink that for now, make me big for now. So yeah, like they create Marathon, and Marathon, I went in balls deep for like 150 hours, and then I gave up like that. It was so easy to quit Marathon because they only have two maps that I play. I barely play Outpost. I'm not the best first person shooter. I'm getting better, but I'm getting better because of Borderlands 4 and Destiny 2. But more so Borderlands 4. And because of Borderlands, Destiny was created. All right. So, anyways, off topic. So they make Marathon, and Marathon sucks the biggest bowl of dicks I have ever fucking played. You can't keep anything in your kit in your own vault because you die every time. So there's no point in going in with your own shit because when you do go in with your own shit, you lose it. So you take in a free kit and half the time you might come back with something. So you cash that in and hope that you can level up anything in your factions. Because to do the missions, it gets pretty hard once you get up there a little bit, like having to do three different things in the same map without dying and exfiltrating successfully. That's almost impossible for a player like me and a player who loves the look. The look of Marathon is exactly what a brother fucking needs, man. I don't need a game that looks like real life. I need a game that looks like a fucking game but moves like real. You know what I'm saying? So, Marathon, the colors, the graphics, everything visually, aesthetically, that game is exactly what I want. But the way it plays, and you only got like a handful of streamers who are professional first person shooters, that ruins the entire game for every single person in this world. Like Marathon, I'm sorry, I haven't touched Marathon for like 2 months. It feels like I think it's been like 2 months since I've even opened Marathon. Today we're gonna open up Marathon later after this and just see how it's feeling again. I don't think everything's gonna be updated right now. Um, But yeah, Marathon, aesthetically, that game is everything that I want. Exactly like Destiny 2, exactly like Borderlands 4. These three games are my absolute favorite. I do love Warhammer Space Marine. That game is the most manly, blood and gore, fucking hack and slash, blow your fucking face off game I've ever played. Warhammer is pimp, but the story ends too quick, and then you jump into uh, match games like co-op games, and I don't like that. It was so cool when it was just you playing the story. I love playing the story. Like I got Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 7 ready to go because I want to play those two before I get into the new Resident Evil. Like to be able to play through a story and not have to play with anyone is an amazing feeling. Like I downloaded Neo 2 before Neo 3 came out, which was a big mistake on my behalf. Neo 2 sucked a dick. You can't jump in that game. If you can't jump, I'm sorry, it's cooked. So, all right, let's listen to Aztec give us the scoop and the lowdown on motherfucking Marathon, yo. This is where we're at. I haven't even watched the full thing because once I started hearing it a little bit from Cross, man, I was like, holy shit, I gotta put this up now.
Another week, boys, and another twab. This week at Bungie, nothing for Destiny, but we got some Marathon news. Launch, learning, and what's next. From Joe Ziegler here, the game director. The short version, TLDR, there's a lot of words ahead, but here's the gist of it. With the first season of Marathon, we've created a strong core community. We're embarking on a multi-season journey built around growing from the seed of this strong community. We're looking to solve some pain points for players, making the game less grindy, more rewarding, making improvements to the UI UX, matchmaking, in-game meta, playing as solos, duos, etc. Smoothing out onboarding. We're also going to build out more of the core game, adding new, fun, and mind-bending content. New and updated zones, runner shells, new combatants, weapons.
Wait. Adding new, fun, and mind-bending content. Bungie, if you say mind-bending content, you better be throwing in shit like Destiny fucking 2. Destiny is the only mind-bending game in the world. There's not one game you could walk through and be like, holy fuck, is this gorgeous? The colors, the atmosphere, everything of Destiny is the best that has ever been created. So if you say mind-bending content, yeah, that's the shit I'm looking for. That's the shit I'm looking for, Bungie.
Loot and more. Build systems to make progressing more interesting. We wanted to build more survival experiences for different moods, like if you want to full sweat or lean back and chill. So exploring more PvP, PvE, and PvP light experiences. Continuing experimenting with experimental queues to learn more around these experiences. Other highlights, we're bringing back duels for Season 2 with a rotating duo queue. We're testing some experiments in Season 2 around PvE and PvP light modes. We're expanding the max size of your vaults and increasing faction progression rates in Season 2. We'll talk more about Season 2 content like Night March, the new Cradle progression system, and the Runner Shell Sinnoh the week of May the 25th.
New
In the
runner
summary,
shells
as your interest peaks, read on below for more information on these topics. Wow. So this is the big one. They're testing some experiments in Season 2 around PvE.
That's what we fucking need. That's what everybody fucking wants.
PvP-centered modes. Yeah, was there anything about vault
Give
space,
us the
or was
lore.
that
Give
just
us the
a me issue?
fucking
Can we make the vault
lore
listener?
of
Oh yeah, we're
Marathon.
expanding the max size of your vault. Nice. Nice. All right.
Let us
3
fucking
months
play
later. And
the
just for
lore.
recording, this is where you hear me press play. The synth beats with the lulling hum of a playful but elusive bass line would collide with your eardrums, and my voice would greet you with a warm and simple hello. So let's just imagine that's happening and get started. Nearly 3 months have passed since we flung you across the stars and crash landing you onto the dangerous and mysterious lost colony of Tau City 4. For the development team, myself, and all the talented teams at Bungie and Sony that have been supporting us, it has been quite a wild ride. From launch to now, we've watched you tackle the challenges of Tau City, learn to navigate its threats, discover new ways to engage with one another, and create infinite unique stories of survival. And through it all, we've been watching, listening, and trying new things in an effort to learn more about you all. As we come close to the end of our first season and the subsequent start of season 2, we wanted to take some time to reflect on the learnings of season 1 and how that informs our thoughts about what we want to achieve as we build future seasons. So please, come take a walk with us as we reflect a bit on Marathon. Now, before, Marathon's roots go back to the original trilogy in the 90s, where you, as a lone security officer, defend a colony ship above the distant planet of Tau City 4. You're fighting for survival.
The original trilogy of the 90s. The 90s. When it was 1990, I was 5 years old. Bring back the fucking story. Let's fucking go, Bungie. Let's fucking go.
Begins a long journey of discovery in which you learn about ancient alien races, the dangers of AI evolution and rampancy, and the complex nature of dimensional realities, among many other themes. As we move towards bringing those ideas to life, we brought together a team to make a social survival experience, one built around a few core concepts and themes. So number one, everything is potentially dangerous. Create an environment where everything is a hazard or a threat. This includes fauna and flora indigenous to the planet, weather patterns, NPC enemies, and other players. Number two is preparing is important. Feel high value in bringing and utilizing the right resources for the problems you encounter. 3, every run moves you forward. Ensures that everyone feels like it's pushing you forward, raising the floor on your possibilities.
That's what we
4,
need
bigger
because we
risks,
are
bigger
fucking stuck. We are fucking stuck, man. I can't get a fucking blue shield or a fucking blue weapon, barely. It's, you know how rare a blue weapon is to me? Fuck. Fuck.
reward. Create an
That's
environment where you could take on more risk of death to gain better rewards. 5, use your judgment. Focus on open-ended decisions. Let players tackle challenges in open-ended ways. Fight, flee, and evade based on your judgment of the scenario. Create loose alliances, compete to gain resources for your own betterment, or wait out the battles and scavenge the field. And then 6, surviving matters. Prompt players to consider survival as the core win condition to ensure that living feels successful. Now, building on these concepts, we constructed a game around high-impact decisions, feeling the push and the pull of making a game that felt too complex, confusing, and punishing versus one that felt learnable and punishing enough to keep survival as its central theme. We iterated with expanding groups of players, making shifts in our core gameplay and features as we got feedback through our tests. In the end, we landed on a game where we felt we had achieved a balance in which we were provoking players to learn, take risks, with the glory of successfully surviving and the tragedy of catastrophic failure, all in the pursuit of creating compelling stories or traversing the mysterious and dangerous environments on an alien planet. And then we put that game in a cannon and launched it out into the world beyond us. Now, what went well? Out of the gate, it was exciting to see the core community build around the tense survival experience we created. The sheer number of stories the community has shared of their moments running across the planet, battling the UASC, getting into heated fights with other runners, and yes, sometimes dying to the errant tick nests or poison plants were overwhelmingly inspiring. The love we've seen for the world we've created has been unimaginably exciting as well. Fan art, lore videos, video edits, and music shares have become a common staple of our internal chats. For all this and more, we are highly thankful for the community that has come to join us for the first season. You're the reason we do this, and our gratitude for all of you cannot be expressed enough. Throughout season 1, we also been building a lot of muscle to deliver a more responsive and iterative live game to match the pace at which players have been playing. We launched Cryo Archive, our first in-game map, and ranked
haven't been able to play it.
Experimental queue, including experiments around duels and sponsor kit queues. We've tackled it.
Plus, when I friend someone in Marathon, I ask them before I say, mind if I friend you? See, the thing is because when you get into a match and you're the only person with fucking mic and headset, that's bullshit. You want to play as a team? Fucking talk as a team as well. So when I hear people talking on and they're pretty cash, I'm like, yo, man, mind if I friend you after? They're like, yeah. So I get more than a dozen friends and I go to invite them into my lobby or ask to play, and I'm ignored. So one of the reasons why I want to start streaming realistically is yo, if someone's watching in the future and they're like, let's jam. And I'd be like, all right, brah, let's go. Um, that's one of my wants is more access to people who use online as their main source of social, I guess.
Variety of balanced
But
patches
yeah,
with
if you can't have a solid team that you play with regularly, you'll never see cryo, and that's me. I've got one good buddy that I've known for over 10 years. Her name's Ruby. She told me I could say her name online, so that's me. But I won't say the last name. I only say full names if I'm a hater of you. But yeah, one person that is worse than me, we will never get to cryo.
hot fixes
I
as we've
need
seen problems in the
I
live
need
game.
better
We've launched the
players,
mid-season carry initiative focused
either
on
as good as
playing
me or
with
better.
and against others in new ways. With each release, we've been learning and getting better at understanding the needs of our live game operations and upgrading where we've seen opportunities. But as many of you know, Season 1 has not been without some hiccups and challenges. So let's
Ooh,
discuss this
hiccups.
a bit.
Season
Not gonna
one
lie,
ruined
Ziegler
Bungie,
kind of giving
bro.
me Joe vibes, you know what I mean? In terms of just talking raw and stuff like that and engaging, whatever way you may feel, man, I hope Ziegler stays. Now, what we've learned. Where do we start? Developing a new game is always a challenge, and creating a live game in 2026 is no simple effort. There are millions of moving parts to a game, especially a player-driven and system-dense game such as Marathon. Let's start at a high level with some of the themes we've observed around the Marathon game and community. Marathon is overwhelming to learn. Marathon for new players can be an overwhelming experience. After a short tutorial, you're often thrown into the fire to learn a lot of
Okay,
concepts.
here's the thing. It's not that it's overwhelming, especially if you're a dude. All right, if you're a dude, overwhelming is nothing. Overwhelming is half the games in the world, man. It's like you get into a game, like let's just say like why can't I think of it? Holy fuck, what a brain fart. I was just listening about it yesterday. My God, stupidity. But anyways, you like get into a game and there's so much in the menu that it's almost like you're looking through your Windows files, right? Like it's pretty in depth, and I guess that would be the overwhelming part, right? Like, holy, there's so much to flip through. I don't know where to start. How do I use this? And but the more time you spend with it, everything becomes natural. The more you see this part to your gun, the more it looks different than the this other piece, right? And that's what marathon is. And marathon is a lot easier to navigate than others that I've seen. Um, Marathon is pretty simple. I don't think it's really overwhelming. I believe when people say overwhelming, it's like, okay, you read your mission from your fact, and it's very straight put, right? It doesn't say very much detail. It just says go here and do this. So when you go there, you have to look for something that you don't know what it looks like. And if you don't know what it looks like, that's overwhelming because you got bullets flying around you, you got a mission you're trying to accomplish. And then when you look into your menu, everything looks the same almost. So overwhelming, I'd have to say no to overwhelming. It doesn't just throw it. I didn't even need to be thrown into marathon in order to get the gist of how to play marathon. I Like I said, it's like any game. You go into any game and it looks foreign, right? The menu selections is here. These sections to get into the menus in here. That's different from the other game, and blah blah blah. Fuck, right? So I'd say that marathon was fucking easy to jump into. So I don't know what everyone's talking about when overwhelming. Man, have you ever played a game before? Man, I only started in the last year. I mean, I played games my whole life, realistically, but not religiously, because women. But yeah, man, Marathon was simple fucking.
Navigate a lot of screens, filter through a ton.
Marathon was lemon squeezy Japanesey, yo. I just watched a movie yesterday, and one of the white guys, after the Japanese character said that, he's like, "Oh, I don't think we can say that anymore." Then the Japanese character goes, "Okay, then. Lemon squeezy." Oh, I even forgot the saying. Lemon squeezy, easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's what it was. Lemon squeezy Japanesey. Lemon squeezy, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Of loot and build muscle memory with a lot of mechanics fairly quickly in a hostile environment where other players can bring you down and take your stuff. It's easy to hit a wall if you're not spending lots of time, don't have a consistent crew, or are not super skilled. Matches can feel like a death spiral for some.
That's what I was just saying, right? Wait. Where you don't have a consistent crew, yo. If you don't have a consistent crew, it it doesn't matter if you're not super skilled, because in time you will get better muscle memory. It is true. I can see it in myself when I play BL4. And then if I take a break for too long, I kind of get out of my jam and have to restart my concentration all over again. But
Players kit up, you go in, you die to a spawn rush, or someone gets the jump on you as you're looting. Faction progress can feel like a slog, and you struggle to get mats and credits out to upgrade. You rarely get out of that loop, and the end game of cryo can feel so far away as you inch your way forward in the precious hours
you can't get the cryo, man.
Solo just makes it all harder. Still figuring out the balance mix of in-game. Bubbles, nade spam, and snipers can make it feel like every engagement at the end game with all the stuff everyone has accumulated is chaotic, fast, and stressful in a bad way. Taking time to make important tactical decisions can feel like a luxury. Spawn rushing,
bad way where we never play the game anymore, literally.
Pacing too far and make matches too predictable. Matchmaking can be a blessing or a curse. And sometimes you don't want to sweat. Gripping your precious loot every moment as you creep your way to the exfil while spinning your head around like a chicken to make sure another runner doesn't drop on top of you with a shotgun is a fun and intense experience. But after a few runs of that, sometimes you need to power down. You just want to frag out, to relax, and play a different way. It's hard to find that chill moment in Marathon.
How did they not put this in when they fucking...
Lessons,
you know how small this fucking game is compared to Destiny? You know how fucking small this game is? All the game modes you can play in Destiny?
Marsh perimeter are helpful to create a more chill environment to play, especially if you've just been stomped or want to focus on getting some quests done and
you come into fucking Marathon, you got 3 fucking maps, that's it.
And we're excited to see how it helps the overall loop of economic gain and progression. 2,
No
box
fucking
kits can
world
be a
to
good way to up the floor over
zoom
the
through.
season and help recovery.
It's
Escalating
just
from
3
lower
fucking
end kits
maps,
to
20
middle end
minutes a
kits over the
time.
season can make it easier to
Arc
get back
is
into the
better
fight,
than
especially for
Marathon.
players who play less. 3, our matchmaking system needs different dimensions. In season 1, they were focused on making sure players with less experience and knowledge were being kept away from those with more. This resulted in some good, which is new players being protected for longer, and some bad, which is some unfortunate small pooling happening in the later parts of the season. The result was a constant battle we fought between match quality and queue times. And number 4, we need to be careful with how many queues we're running. Throughout the season, we added more queues, which inevitably split the population more and led to some increased queue times. As we go into future seasons, we want to be more judicious with how we handle the amount of queues better. Now, we've been absorbing so much over the season thanks to feedback, research, and play data from you all. Makes our heads spin sometimes. We're dizzy with it. But learning is just the first step to improvement. So let's discuss what we're planning next. Where we want to...
I think the dizzy part of this all is the fact that they are almost absolutely dead. If they die, Destiny won't exist anymore. Marathon won't exist anymore because they run off the servers, right? So if there's no fucking company to keep the servers going, that is a decade of gaming for the majority of these players to be gone. And then what are you going to go to? Because Destiny is not like Tarkov, and I don't know. It's just crazy.
Go. When we were bringing Marathon out for players, our aspirations started with a simple statement. We wanted players to experience the thrill and danger of surviving on the edge of the explored universe.
So do I!
Is to commit to
Like
that
Destiny!
by both going deeper and expanding on that definition.
You can have a great game. Just put in all the game modes like you got in Destiny into Marathon. Done and fucking done. You put the game modes. Tank, get down. Thanks, big guy. You put the game modes into the lore. You create a game off the lore of Marathon. You put the fucking modes into it. Fuck.
To that end, we have 2 main paths we're walking down starting with season 2. A better seat gripping experience with more mind-bending sci-fi. First and foremost, we wanted to continue to evolve the challenge intense experience that our players have come to love while leaning further into the wild world we've created. We wanted to build on it with new content and systems that challenge you in new ways to grow, collaborate, and compete with one another in your quest to thrive in Tau City's deadly environments. New zones, zone changes and variants, new shells, new weapons, new equipment, and loot galore. New systems that change how you progress in a season, new contracts that add to the journey of exploration and gaining favor with factions, the changes to parts of the game that meaningfully help you re-examine what you already know. In season 2, we'll be starting that journey with some things we'll be adding to the mix, including a new dimension of challenge with Night March, a new defensive runner shell Sentinel, new weapons and equipment, a revamp to how you acquire runner shell stats to give you more options with the Cradle, and increased progression rates for faction and runner levels.
Well,
beyond
thank
season 2, we're working on some
God,
interesting
man.
ideas that will help to escalate the game and bring new areas of Tau City to life.
Make the game so that we can grow. 150 hours, I have not grown. The only thing that has grown is if I do one of the more epic missions in my faction than the regular mission. If you do more of the epic mission, you get more points when you level up. And I only do more epic missions. I never touch a rare.
As we develop this new content, we're focusing on how we bring new and interesting challenges to the game for both veterans and newcomers alike. Just a note, these ideas are in development, so in interest of transparency, we're going to enumerate them below, but they'll likely take better shape and change as we learn more over season 2. So a new zone that leans into more alien elements and mind-warping debuffs. New enemies from Tau City and beyond, big and small alike.
Yes.
New weapons that fill out the battery side of the arsenal. New ways to exfil
Right.
that create interesting trade-offs between how much loot you carry versus how safe they are. Interesting. So when I think of
Thank
like new
God.
zones that lean into more alien elements, I'm thinking like what? Essentially compiler, like on that level. I've said it before, man. I think what would really mix things up, imagine if a compiler could just like spawn in on a map. You're sitting there, you're running around Dire Marsh, everything's hunky-dory, life is good, and all of a sudden, boom, right there, randomly. Not a single icon, nothing. A compiler right there. And you could decide how to deal with it. Oh, I would make it stupid strong. I would make that compiler, that version of the compiler, stupid strong. Yeah, and as far as new enemies from Tau City and beyond, I mean, dude, it's Bungie, you know? Drop like 100 mini screeps in the middle of the map. Good luck, everybody. We're also dedicating a strong effort to smoothing out the experience and solving issues we already see, as well as any new issues that arise in a quick, responsive manner. This includes not only balance changes and improvements to the user experience, but also ensuring you can find good value playing a little as well as playing a lot, and that you can better find the right challenges for your gear and skill level as you grow in the game. So in Season 2, we'll be adding a duels rotating zone queue. In Season 2, we'll be adding a new matchmaking system that helps players find better quality matches with more flex for higher end players. In Season 2, we'll be expanding the max size of your vault. Good. For Season 2 and beyond, we're working on a set of UX improvements to help make setting goals and getting into a match smoother. For Season 3 and beyond, we're working on improving our onboarding experience to make it less overwhelming for new players. For Season 3 and beyond, we'll be making changes to the contract system to improve how you interact with priority and other contracts. So more options to chill and new survival experiences. The second theme is about how we want to evolve Marathon as a whole to be an experience where you can find more novel ways to play when you're stressed out from a nail-biting run and just need to cool off or have fun without the stress. Options where you can go full sweat or lean back and chill. This means new ways to play that accommodate different friend groups, moods, and time availability to allow you to experience the thrilling survival of Tau City in the way that fits your needs. In Season 2, we'll be experimenting with 2 modes, one at the beginning of the season and one toward the latter half of the season. The experimental mode at the beginning of the season will focus more on PvE, but with a light touch of PvP. The second experimental mode will be a PvE only mode that's focused on crews being tasked with completing objectives together and making some progress across matches. We'll continue to run experimental queues beyond these 2 offerings for Season 2 and beyond, testing the waters around other mechanics, such as perhaps a more purely PvP focused mode, with the potential for these to become part of the core game loop or permanent new ways to play. Boys and girls, how we feel about that? How do you feel? Again, this is going to be in the second half of the season, but a PvE only mode. It's such a weird thing because like Destiny is so heavily PvE, but it's also got PvP. I'm not against Marathon having PvE. Really, I'm not. If anything, I would actually take it a step further. I would make it, I would have a PvE only mode. Maybe just cycle it in whenever you want. You know what I mean? Maybe.
That's right, Cross. That's right.
Rotates in, and I would have a free-to-play map, like a single map, maybe be just like a version of Perimeter as free-to-play. And yes, it's gonna probably have a bunch of cheaters in it and stuff like that, and it's gonna be hell, but it'd be you know, a way for some people that just want to try it out, you know, and limit the loot pool too. Like if you're gonna have like free-to-play map, just limit the loot pool on that map. This is an L. Okay, so I'm actually seeing a lot of Marathon play for the Marathon people in here, and I'm only calling you guys Marathon guys because y'all have the Marathon icons next to your name. Marathon players, what is it about PvE only that rubs you wrong? They literally said they're splitting the player base up too much, so why make a PvE mode? That's fair. I get where you're coming from. That's fair.
Because there's not enough PvP players. Are you fucking dumb? Are you fucking smacked? There's not enough PvP players that want to play Marathon because Marathon sucks that bad. You need to make this game as good as Destiny in order for Bungie to survive another few months. If they don't do this now, we won't even have Destiny to play in the future because there will be no more servers that Bungie has. Give me a fucking break, are you dumb?
But I also think that Marathon needs more players, and the PvE side, there's a lot of PvE players is what I'm saying. Like whether they're coming from Helldivers or Destiny, you know what I mean? There's a lot of
Cross
PvE
is
players.
A smart brother.
And what you really hope for is like you create a game where maybe that PvE player, maybe he's like, wow, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm learning the systems. I'm learning my runner. I've got some decent
Maybe I
enough
can go into
loots. I think I
PvP
may go
now.
play PvP. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're just going to try it out, guys. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. I think it's fine. Tarkov has PvE. Marathon is a PvE game. Whoa, I wouldn't say that at all. No, it's
I would say
definitely
it.
a PvP oriented game. Okay.
Okay, the only reason it was a PvP oriented game is because that's the way they created the fucking game. That's the one thing Cross I think is a little wrong on here. Man, this game was made for PvE. Way back in the 90s, the trilogy of Marathon was back in the 90s. If there's a trilogy, there's a huge story. And if there's a story, that's got to be a huge PvE game. You take that PvE game and you put PvP modes into it so that it can be just as powerful of PvP marathon, so that now you could actually have just your fucking PvPers playing PvP. And then Bungie can get a fuckload more money because there's going to be a fuckload more players because of the story to play through. There's a fucking long history lore attached to this fucking game. And when you play Marathon right now, there is zero lore. Zero lore. There's no story to it. Zero story to it. Zero fucking story. There is no story when you enter Marathon. The only thing that is when you go into Marathon is when you go into your factions to upgrade each faction. When you kind of go farther in the faction, that faction leader gives you a new task. And that task, I guess, would be your fucking story. If PvPs want to call it a story, that would be your story. Your leader telling you your next mission. And your next mission is basically exactly the same as before. Go in, PvP, do your mission, hopefully you survive, you move on. The game is cooked. The game has cooked Bungie as a whole. This game, if it doesn't go PvE, goodbye, Bungie. Goodbye. Now, if you bring PvE in, I'm so excited. I feel like hopping into Marathon today. Like I said, I want to go see what Marathon is like today. I think I see a cat hair on my nose.
But I think PvE is a good way for people to be more acclimated, learn some of their gameplay loops, their runners, things like that. Maybe mess around with
always
weapons, get confident
being
using those weapons, and then
in the
potentially use them in
PvE.
PvP.
Cross
Big things
is
coming in the
totally
line.
right.
So with all this talk about the future, let's wrap this up with one last reflection on this year-long journey we're going to take together. Now and after. If this were a recording, this is where I'd pause the music and bring my hands together and stare thoughtfully off in the distance. I'd begin to say something and then probably stop myself and take a few deep breaths before continuing. Joe, today we're approaching the end of season 1, but our eyes are on the road from here to beyond 2026 and into 2027. And our hands are working to pave that road as we speak. The journey ahead is one that will see the game expand its scope, depth, and breadth of what it has been for season 1. All in the interest of bringing to life the vibrancy and passion that we have as a team for sharing our love of survival challenges with you all. To look more directly at our plans and goals for the next year, season 2 is on the horizon and we'll be sowing the seeds for a lot of our future plans via new content such as Sinnoh and Nightmarch systems and experiments around new play modes that may become permanent in the future. Season 3, we're planning to introduce a lot, and I mean a lot of revisions to our early experience, including big updates to Perimeter alongside a new runner shell and additional no spoiler content. Season 4, we're focusing on building more depth into the existing extraction loop. In Season 5, we're looking at bringing the whole ecosystem of PvPvE play together and evolving our weird sci-fi world in new ways. For those of you you who have joined us on this journey. We wanted to thank you. Your feedback, your endless support, and your
Well,
passion have become the
I
echoing
didn't really
chant that
go on
fuels
this
us to
journey
conjure
because
new
I
ideas,
gave
create
up
new
after
solutions to
150
problems, and
hours.
have
Just
fun doing it. We're
straight up,
excited
I
for you to
just
join
quit
us
like
as we
that.
grow
Like,
this game around you and the community you've created. For those of you maybe on the fence about whether or not we're the right game for you, thank you as well. We're excited to welcome you when you're ready to take that dive. Keep checking back in with us as we walk this journey. And if you get the itch, we'll be more than happy to have you. All right, this is where I hit the stop button. I've written a lot of words. Time to get back to work and turn words into releases. Thank you infinitely, Joe. Look, man, you got to give credit where credit is due. It seems like Joe and the marathon team is working their ass off, trying to do everything they can to do right by their community and to hopefully rope in new players. Hopefully they
they
move
really
fast enough.
are.
Hopefully it resonates. Hopefully these next few updates for
They
Marathon
really fucking
are
are.
well received, you know. And I got to say I
PvE
really like it
is when
when,
you know
you
they're
know,
fucking
Joe,
working
whether he's
hard.
hitting it on Twitter or he's, you know, talking right here in these article forum posts and everything else, it almost feels very one-on-one. And that's what I was saying. Like, it reminds me of like Joe Blackburn in the day with D2, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. There is a piece of me over here going, where the is my Destiny news? And until I get my Destiny news, I'm gonna be pissy. But at the same time, I really do wish the best for Marathon. We will most likely
He
play
hasn't
when the
played
new
Destiny
season
for so
launches,
long.
at least for a couple days. Yes, PoE is dropping a couple days before Marathon. I'll be honest, guys. I'm gonna be really pulled in on PoE, and so I will try to commit time to Marathon. And then we're supposed to be getting, hopefully, some news on Destiny. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna be happening with that.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.
Yikes, right? So, Marathon, if you don't fucking do this, you're dead, really. I can totally see if you do not make the PvE to Marathon, Bungie is down in the shitter and there will never be a Destiny to continue. So, how about all the people that are PvP fucking addicts? Just take a fucking chill pill, okay? There's a lot of PvP in Marathon, even if they put in PvE. I feel like I have to smack you senseless because all these PvPers just blah 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 blah. I want Destiny to die because I want my game to be this way. Are you fuck off, man. Fuck off, right? So I'm gonna stop streaming on this one. Y'all have a good one. And if I turn Marathon on later today, I'll stream. I thought I was going to turn on Destiny as well today, but at the same time, seeing Cross tell this info, I just want to hop into Marathon. I don't know what I want to play. All right.